Been a long time since I did a video, and a few things have changed. Mostly, we now have a second GTR in the household. This one, well, this blue one obviously, most of you will recognise. It's had a bit of work done. It's been turned down and then turned up. It makes about 600 horsepower at the wheels now, which is pretty good. It does it reliably, does it without any problems. And it's about where I want it now. Now I'm just going to work on the aesthetics and making it a better road car. But the big news is this one. This is a Series 3 R33 GTR that I bought. It has less than 10,000 kilometers on the odometer and is in as close to pristine condition as you can basically get these now. There's a few little marks and scratches that are a little annoying, but not worth worrying about. So this silver one was more expensive than my LM, believe it or not. But that's how these things are going now. They're shooting up in value. And when this one popped up, I didn't really want one. Didn't really think about it. But it was one that I've been looking at for a long time and really wanted to get. So it turns out it's actually pretty perfect mechanically and body-wise. There's a couple of little things, but for my wife, who will drive this one, it'll be absolutely perfect. But the contrast between the two cars could not be greater. You've basically got one that has no standard components versus one with almost no aftermarket components. And we'll go through those. There's only about, I think it's 3 or 4 aftermarket items on this car that weren't on it originally. So basically the differences between the silver car and the blue car. This one's Series 3, this one's Series 2. This blue car has the blue interior, which some of you will be familiar with. So you see blue seats, blue interior back there, blue door cards. This one did get the upgraded steering wheel and the upgraded dashboard, which is nice. This one, the silver one, as you can see, has the red interior. It's actually not that much difference. Same dashboard, same steering wheel, which is nice. Not that horrible Series 1. Red on the inside, even down to floor mats, they're all still standard. Yeah, so this thing is literally factory fresh. They don't come cleaner than this. Completely stock on the inside, completely stock under the bonnet almost, and we'll go through that in a sec. But the only real problems is, I don't know how well the camera will show this. As you can see there's a mark on the rear wing. This had a car cover for quite a long time, and apparently this was where it used to rub on the car cover. So it also rubbed on the front guards, but that's been corrected. Excuse the dirty paint, but it used to rub down there. That's been fixed. Comes with the, well, rather expensive xenon lights. Different front bar to this one. You can kind of see the difference, maybe. And otherwise, there's just a few really minor scratches. I don't know well if you can see this, but there is one in there somewhere. Just a really minor mark. And there was one around the back here somewhere too. Not even sure anymore, but I did find a couple of little minor problems with it. Maybe I'll get it fixed, maybe I won't. Don't know. So let's have a look. Wrong one. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Okay, this is completely stock with the exception of this. This doesn't belong, but otherwise this is how they came out of the factory, and they're in amazing condition. So you can see all of the original stickers, all written in Japanese. Obviously it's a Japanese car. There's still protection on some of these items, presumably was from the factory. I'm not 100%, but it doesn't really serve a purpose other than to protect that glass. You can see someone's made an effort to make sure that the hood closing doesn't touch anything. That's an aftermarket switch, don't mind that. But here's what we get in Australia when you import a vehicle. They pop one of these on and one of these guys as well. Here's the original VIN sticker or VIN plate in here. I don't know if that shows up, but basically this was built, I think it's 1997, this model. Yeah, so a year later than my blue one, but this one is absolutely pristine. Given a decent detail and a little bit of love, this would go back to being concourse factory detail level. It's that good. I've got images of the car from underneath, and that's kind of where you can tell their age and how well they've been looked after, and this thing is absolutely pristine under there. Literally, I've never seen anything like it. Obviously, you know, the usual suspects of rust in the strut towers doesn't exist, simply because this car was brought to Australia in 1998, so it didn't even last a year in Japan before it was imported. So that's good news for me. Good news for us buying it, obviously. Everything works on the car, all the switches, all the dials, everything, which is not something I can say about the LM. Original wheels, which I've been chasing for a long time, at a reasonable price, I might add, because, you know, it's not that hard to buy things off the internet. But, you know, when you set a budget and you try and stick to it, it's not always easy. I believe that these rear pods or spats, or wherever you're from in the world, depending on what you call them, I believe these were added to the car within the first year. I might be wrong, maybe the Series 3 came with them, but I think they were actually optioned out of the Nismo catalogue. Probably the same with these side skirts. I'm not too sure. I've got all the documents, and I've got to go back through all of this to actually work out what's going on with it. But in terms of modifications, there's just none. So yeah, this car was very expensive. Like I said, more than this one, which puts down 600 to the wheels. And has sort of, the blue one has about, I don't know, it's around about $40,000 to $50,000 Australian engine and drivetrain. This one has none of that. It's exactly how you'd expect it out of the factory. So yeah, this one should hopefully appreciate a little more. But really, I'm just hoping to get my wife into driving it, which would be nice. And we can cruise around with twin GTRs, because we have twin BMW wagons, so in for a penny, in for a pound. There's the magic numbers that make this cost an absolute fortune. There you go, 9,640 kilometers. It's worth noting that this car has been driven for the last 2 years by somebody up in Sydney, before I got it down in here in Melbourne. So it's, you know, it's been used recently, so hopefully anything that could go wrong has gone wrong to this point. And you'll see cassette, those were a thing once, so that's pretty cool actually. I really like that. In this day and age, it's just not worth bothering to change it. Probably just get an FM transmitter Even though Australia's FM radio stations don't fit with Japanese ones, we should be able to work around that. And if we go over here, have a look in the boot, you see this one has all of the panels and looks exactly like you would expect, whereas the LM has none of that and is half filled with fuel items. So yeah, this thing is absolutely mint. I would love to hear from anyone who thinks that theirs is just as clean or has as few Ks as this, because there can't be very many left in the world. Yeah. Alright, so that is the new car. Been promising to upload this for quite a while to some people, so hopefully this appeases them for a little while. And let me know if you're interested in seeing it out and about in Melbourne, or you want me to shoot anything specific about the car.